This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana.
We are in imminent danger, and then that falls, we are at potential for here to fall in towards the water.
People living in a West Side apartment complex turning to RTV6, saying their apartments aren't safe. Working for you, we're taking their concerns straight to health officials.
Flu season is in full swing and already claiming lives in the Hoosier state. The flu shot clinics happening this week to keep you ahead of the potentially deadly virus.
Changes are coming to Indigo's Red Line, the reason the buses are slowing down and how it could impact your commute.
It's opening night for the Indiana Pacers at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. We're live with how you can help celebrate the blue and gold downtown before tip-off.
And the Pacers' schedule mural has been a staple downtown for decades. New this morning, we're introducing you to the woman behind the artwork.
6 o'clock here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez. Our Lauren Casey's on vacation this week. It's going to be a great day in Central Indiana. And Todd Clausen, you promised that this would be the best day of the week. And voila.
And it is. And I love you got your yellow on for the Pacers here.
Boom, baby. Let's do this thing.
This evening. They picked a good day for the home opener. A lot of people hopefully downtown enjoying not only a Pacers win later on this evening, but the nice weather that we'll have throughout the day today as well. So let's get you out the door on this Wednesday morning. What do you need to grab before you go? Well, it is running a little bit cooler than it has been the past few mornings. So you definitely need to have the light jacket. You don't have to worry about the hat and gloves, though. It's not that cold, or the umbrella, but have the sunglasses handy. Those will be a necessity here throughout the entire day. So as you get going here this morning, temperatures are hovering right around 30 degrees, and that's where they stay throughout the morning drive. 8 a.m. temperature right around 38 degrees still, and the skies are clear across the area. It's not until late today that maybe a few high thin clouds will start to filter into the area, but that is just about it. So the rest of your morning goes like this, mostly sunny. The wind kicks up a little bit, but by the time you get to the noon hour, temperatures are in the mid-50s. We'll continue to warm from there. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, it's also going to be a great day in Bloomington, Bargersville, and Carthage as we take a live look from our in-dot camera on the south side of Indianapolis. It's going to be a good morning as well. As you can see, traffic is moving well in this area. A live look at I-65 at Edgewood Avenue. Meredith?
This morning, people living in a West Side apartment complex are turning to RTV6 for help because they say their apartments aren't safe. Tenants at Mariners Village near I-465 and Crawfordsville Road say they're dealing with mold, rotting balconies, and sewage backups. Jacqueline Hunt has lived in the complex for 6 months. She tells RTV6 her balcony is extremely dangerous.
Our balcony is unattached on both sides, as well as drooping, and the boards are rotted completely through. So being above a 60-acre lake, and being a few feet off of the lake and being told by professional companies that have came out here that we are in imminent danger, and then that falls, we are at potential for here to fall in towards the water.
RTV6 obtained a list of current housing violations at Mariners Village. It includes things like mold, damaged floors, and sewage problems. There is even a pending court case against the apartment complex. After we reached out to the health department about Jacqueline's balcony, representatives told us they issued a notice to the complex's management, giving them 30 days to fix it.
The flu can be dangerous and deadly. The Marion County Health Department now reporting the first flu-related death in our state for this season. The department is now reminding families that a flu shot is highly recommended to prevent that virus. This morning, a local pharmacist is going the extra mile in an effort to provide those vaccines. Heidi Barnett is taking flu shots to offices, schools, libraries, and other locations around Indiana and giving them for free. On Tuesday, she was at Carroll Wild School in Indianapolis giving flu vaccines to employees at that location.
Of course, no one likes to get a shot, but they were excited they were able to do it here on work time and at the school location, didn't have to go anywhere else.
Many people get sick and miss work for at least a week, extended period of time. Some people are hospitalized. and some people die from it. And it's really important to get vaccinated so you don't get sick.
Barnett plans on giving 4,000 flu shots to people on site at their jobs over the next few weeks. IU partners with Apex Population Groups is encouraging employers to provide vaccines. And working for you, we have information that you need to know. The Marion County Health Department will be hosting clinics at 2 locations tomorrow. That first clinic will be from 9 to 11 at Cathedral Kitchen, that's on North Pennsylvania Street. The second clinic will be from 4 to 6 at Englewood Christian Church on Rural Street on the city's east side. Flu vaccine costs $20 per person ages 2 and older. They're free for kids under the age of 2.
This morning, the Marion County Sheriff's Office and IMPD are facing a lawsuit from a former jail inmate with disabilities. Keith Crumley is diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, intermittent explosive disorder, and an intellectual disability, according to the federal lawsuit. The suit claims police and jail staff denied Crumley proper medical care. His mother and attorney tell RTV6 Crumley was not given his medication and somehow suffered injuries while in jail.
He had none of the drugs in his system when he came out of the facility, out of the Marion County Jail. He came out being pushed in a wheelchair.
Keith can't tell us what happened. He sustained serious injuries while in the jail. He was even sent to Eskenazi for emergency medical attention for some of these injuries. And because of his disability, he can't tell us what happened.
The Sheriff's Office medical provider, Correct Care Solutions, is also named in the suit. The Marion County Sheriff's Office and IMPD do not comment on pending litigation.
At 606, a metal trading facility in Madison County has 30 days to appeal a decision denying a request to expand in Ingalls. The Board of Zoning Appeals made that decision Monday night. We told you last week that some people were worried about the plant's impact on health and safety. An expansion would allow Nuco Metals to melt, recycle, and repurpose aluminum. Company leaders say any environmental impact, they say, would be minimal.
Day 3 of the disciplinary hearing for Attorney General Curtis Hill will get underway later this morning. Hill is facing possible penalties over accusations he touched 4 women inappropriately at a party in a bar after the legislature adjourned last year. Republican leaders were called as witnesses on Tuesday. House Speaker Brian Bosma and former Senate President Pro Tem David Long both said Hill was apologetic after the allegations were raised privately. But they testified he became more defiant when he learned the allegations were going public. For an in-depth report on the ongoing hearing, you can head to the RTV6 app and click on this story.
A former school nurse in Lawrence County has pleaded guilty to charges that she stole medicine from students at her schools. Carol Saunders was a nurse with the Mitchell Community Schools Corporation. Prosecutors say Sanders admitted to stealing medications from students at Burrs Elementary and Hatfield Elementary schools. This morning, Sanders' nursing license, it remains suspended by the state. As she pleaded guilty to theft and neglect of a dependent, her sentencing is now scheduled for next month.
Changes that will impact bus timing on the Red Line Rapid Transit route start on Sunday. Indigo is adding layover time for drivers and travel time along the route to improve bus spacing. The new goal is to have a Red Line bus arrive every 10 to 20 minutes on weekdays during peak hours instead of every 10 minutes. And on weekends, you can expect a bus every 15 to 30 minutes instead of every 15 to 20 minutes. The Red Line is still free to ride through November 10. The NBA season officially started last night, but for our Indiana Pacers, the season starts tonight with the home game against the Detroit Pistons.
Let's go Pacers. RTV6's Kelsey Anderson. You know, Kelsey, I'm going to get your name right one day. They're going to have to pay me extra money. But RTV6's Kelsey Anderson, take it away. Take it away.
All righty. Well, thank you, Raphael, or maybe I should call you Randy or something else like that. But yeah, so everyone's excited here about the Pacers season opener tonight. But what they're also excited about is what's going to happen outside the field house before the game tonight. So I'm here with Josh. So Josh, tell us a little bit about what is planned for outside.
Yeah, awesome. So we are going to have an opening night party that, you know, officially tip off the season. So we're going to be on Georgia Street. So we're going to have live music. It's presented by Budweiser. So we're going to have $3 Budweiser, Bud Light. Rick Smits is going to be there and some other fellow former Pacers alumni out there. So we start at 5 o'clock. We're inviting everybody to come down before the game, or if you're just coming after work, we invite you to come down and have a good time.
Yeah, and it is something for everyone. You're inviting everyone. There's also some kids' activities and stuff like that.
There is. So Georgia Street will be more for adults, but then just north of Bankers Life in the Oberlot, we're actually going to have kind of a family activation there. So we'll have caricature artists, we'll have some balloon artists, face painters, all that. Mountain Dew's going to have a great activation out there as well, and we'll have a DJ.
Awesome. And so when they come in the field house for the game, what can they expect in here?
Yeah, so inside we're actually going to be giving away these incredible flags for everybody that comes to the game tonight. So we'll be doing these, and then we'll also be doing schedule magnets. So opening night, it's presented by Kroger, so they're giving away some incredible schedule magnets for everyone that comes.
All right, well, perfect. Thank you so much. And so that's what's happening here on the inside. But let's send it out to our Alyssa Donovan. She's outside with something you don't want to miss as you're walking in the field house.
That's right, Kelsey, and really you can't miss it. If you drive down Pennsylvania Avenue or if you walk past Bankers Life, you've probably seen this right behind me. It's the Indiana Pacers season schedule mural. Now, that's displayed every year, but this thing doesn't get screen printed. It's not a big billboard. Each of those games are painted by hand, and the woman behind this mural is fine artist Barb Stahl. If you've been a Pacers fan as long as she has, you've been looking at her for 2 decades. That's right, at 61, she's in her 20th year of painting the Pacers mural outside of Bankers Life Fieldhouse. She won that bid in the late 90s after overhearing about the opportunity while shopping at a paint store. And it's quite the process to get the games up on that wall. She first has to stencil, then pencil over powder, paint each game in white, and then cover over the home games in gold.
Since we started this wall, it's really become like a landmark. And I think that's just the coolest thing ever, you know, that I get to be a part of that.
Stahl also operates the boom lift that she uses every year to paint the mural. When she became certified, she was one of the only women taking that test to work aerial equipment. Now, the entire process to get this mural up on this wall takes about 3 weeks, but Stahl says this year it actually took an entire month, and that's because they've started also painting the Fever schedule up on that wall this year. So she's doing double the work at 61 years old, but she said she loves it. And coming up at 6:30, I'm going to have details on one of the most challenging parts of this high-profile job. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Alyssa, thank you. Drivers wanted, even with little to no experience. Ahead in hiring Hoosiers, the local beer distributor looking to craft Hoosiers to fill the truck driver shortage gap. Todd.
And Meredith, speaking of driving, as you get in your car here this morning, you may be turning the heat on once again. A little bit of a cooler start to our day with temperatures that are currently sitting in the 30s. We'll slowly warm through the 40s as we go throughout the morning drive with mainly clear sky and eventually into the 50s and 60s this afternoon. More on your Storm Team 6 forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on RTV 6.
RTV6, hiring Hoosiers, connecting you to opportunities to start and grow your career.
And if open roads, beer, and being home every night are things you like, this might be something you want to think about.
RTV6's Amanda Starantino shows us how one indie-based beer delivery company is filling the talent gap.
Let's do it. It's all in a day's work. The more I do it, the better I'm like, I know what I'm doing. Logging mile after mile on Indiana roads.
It's pretty much like driving my normal vehicle.
Colleen Gibson made a big career change from standing in front of students in the classroom to climbing behind the wheel of a big rig, delivering beer.
And I get to be out there with people, and I'm not stuck on a truck 12 hours a day and all of that. And I get to interact with the customers, and it's a lot of fun.
She started at Monarch Beverage 3 years ago, working in the warehouse, until a few months ago when her priorities changed. She wanted to stay at the company, but step out of the building.
I had a kid and decided that the hours were better on this side, pay was better, just all in all, a different experience.
Colleen had no truck experience until she climbed into the driver's seat in a Monarch Beverage truck. The company runs its own driver and training program, letting employees earn their CDL for free while getting paid.
We create safe drivers, confident drivers, and drivers that are going to be comfortable in tough situations.
Jordan Fuller is the route driver trainer here at Monarch Beverage, working one-on-one with drivers going through the roughly 20-day program.
It's about 40 hours worth of drive time. We get to actually put our drivers through real life scenarios. We pick up from the local breweries. If, for instance, they are struggling on their cone work, we can focus more on their cone work for a day rather than worrying about the drive. Or if need be, if they're falling behind on their pre-trip, we can sit there and take the time to focus on that.
The training is done within regular work days, and drivers start at $22 an hour before picking up speed with the company. On an average day here at Monarch Beverage, between the 155 drivers, they make 1,200 stops, delivering 1,200 kegs of beer, 1,900 different packages of beer, and 65,000 cases of beer. And each driver should be home every night. Gibson's workdays will now include anywhere from 7 to 20 stops delivering beer across the state. The job also requires some muscle for the cargo.
Just making sure that you lift properly, you work smarter, not harder.
Crafting her career with each mile at Monarch Beverage, Colleen has more opportunities to advance within the company. And when this truck driver hears this is a man's job,
it's nice whenever you can prove yourself and actually show, like, I'm capable of doing my job. That's why I signed up to do it.
That was Amanda Starantino reporting. Thank you for that story. Now, on top of getting some big discounts on beer, which is a perk, there are other perks to the job that includes an on-site medical clinic with a doctor for staff and their families.
Now, you do need to commit to working at Monarch Beverage for at least a year when going through their driver and training program. You can learn more about Monarch Beverage, their benefits, and information on how to apply at hiringhoosiers.com. Here at 6:18, though, we want to take a turn and look at the weather for our Wednesday.
We want to give a big cheers. If we could have some glasses and maybe some beer to say, Todd Clausen, fantastic job on the forecast today.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear, yeah. Maybe find a patio at some point here this afternoon. Once it warms up into the 60s, and you can have your choice of beverage, but it'll be a good day to get out and about. There's no doubt about that. So this morning, it's running a little bit cooler than it has been the past few mornings. So you'll notice that when you walk out the door. You probably want to have the light jacket handy, but it's going to be mostly clear. We have no threat of any rainfall this morning, and then sunrise not until 8:04 now as our overnights get longer and longer here time-wise. Sunset this evening is now before 7 o'clock. Outside right now, skies are clear. As I mentioned, temperatures are in the 30s to the low 40s across the area, depending on where you are. 38 in Indy, 43 is the current temperature right now in Muncie. But here's the good news. Once that sun does come up, we are going to see these temperatures warm very, very quickly across the area. In fact, we're talking about temperatures in the mid-50s already by the noon hours. You get into the mid-60s for your afternoon high, which will actually put us above normal. The normal high is 63 degrees. Today we should be up to 64, maybe even 65 degrees. And even 6 o'clock as the sun's still up, we're talking about a temperature of 62 degrees. So the only flaw in the forecast is as the day progresses, you will notice the wind start to pick up a little bit. But otherwise, we cannot complain about the weather. In fact, I do think today is the best weather day we have this week because it is completely sunny. As we expand out, you do notice some clouds, some showers back off to our west. You may notice some high, thin clouds later on this evening, but we do remain completely dry. None of that rainfall will make it here into central Indiana, at least throughout the overnight hours and throughout much of the day tomorrow. So with the clouds increasing overnight, big difference temperature-wise when you wake up tomorrow morning. Probably running about 10 degrees warmer in most locations compared to what's going on right now. 48 in Indy tomorrow morning, 48 in Bloomington as well, about 45 as you make your way up into the Richmond area this evening. The Pacers are home, and temperatures will be in the 50s as that game starts to wrap up. So should be a great night for the home opener down there at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, and with the clouds in place, it's a little bit cooler. We're looking at temperatures tomorrow that probably stall just shy of 60 degrees. So tomorrow's going to be a cooler day with the cloud cover, but it will be dry. As far as rain goes, Friday there's the chance of a few quick passing showers. Nothing really to write home about, and definitely don't cancel plans. Don't worry about any of the high school football games Friday evening. If you did see a shower, it's just going to be a hit or miss one. The better chance of rain will be on Saturday, not during the daytime hours though. Saturday daytime is decent across the area. It's Saturday night into Sunday that we bring the rain back into the forecast, and overnight we could see a decent amount of rain. Some models want to give us over an inch of rain by the time things wrap up on Sunday morning.
Todd, thank you. We want to take a live look here at I-465 at Sam Jones Expressway. You can see traffic starting to pick up here as the morning commute continues on. There are no issues to report on the roadways. We've got plenty more, including the trending 6 after this commercial break. Stick with us.
For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Welcome back. It is 6:24 and it is time for our favorite time of the morning, the trending 6. And Roth, do you know what it takes if you take the good and you take the bad?
I love that show.
You've got the facts of life,
Yeah.
and there's a reunion of sorts coming up. Kim Fields, Lisa Whelchel, Nancy McKeon, and Mindy Cohn will all star in a new Lifetime movie called You Light Up My Christmas. Fields says it is amazing to work with her 1980s sitcom co-stars once again.
I look forward to seeing that with the missus. We'll see how that shakes out. You can watch now the magic of Disney Plus for free. Verizon is offering customers with an unlimited wireless plan a free year of Disney streaming service. Verizon says it has about 100 million wireless customers. About half are eligible for the Disney Plus. That streaming service, it launches November the 12th.
This next story brings life to the new saying, whatever floats your gourd boat. Justin Ownby has been trying to grow a massive pumpkin for years, and this year he finally pulled it off. After harvesting the seeds for next year, Justin hollowed out the pumpkin, then put it in the family pond and started paddling. Justin says next year his goal is to beat the 1,000-pound mark.
Creativity at work. Some strong winds in Montana could not stop the state high school soccer tournament, as you can see. What is that? That indeed, my friends, is a tumbleweed moving across your screen and their field. It seems like folks in Montana are having a rough time with the weather and state tournaments. You might remember the golf championship game had to be played during a blizzard.
All right, take a look at this. A firefighter rescuing a puppy trapped underneath burning brush in Bakersfield, California. Firefighter Paul Alvarado couldn't see the puppy at first, but could hear its little cries for help. According to a local vet, the little dog isn't even a week old. He had burns on one of his hind legs and singes on his mouth, but he is expected to recover. Firefighters have named him Fuego.
And fuego means fire in Spanish. I will see your beautiful puppy for some beautiful babies, because the Houston Astros are fighting to win another World Series, and so are some of the team's youngest fans, cheering them on from inside the NICU at Women's Hospital of Texas. The babies are already wearing, as you can see, Astro team colors, and no doubt those precious little babies are dreaming of being in the big leagues. I think my babies outdo your single puppy. Sorry,
I don't know. They're both awfully cute. Oh, goodness gracious.
They better start cheering, though. Astros lost game 1 last night to the Washington Nationals. So
I'm still bitter. I'm a Yankees fan.
So in the World Series, but they just won it a few years ago. So we'll see what happens. All right, outside right now, it's cool. Temperatures are in the 30s, warming up to 56 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. It's a sunny day once the sun does come up after 8 a.m., but the wind also kind of picks up as the day goes on. But honestly, it's the best weather day of the week, with highs in the mid to upper 60s across the area. Get out there and enjoy. The time now is 6:27. Stay with Good Morning Indiana. We're back here in just a few minutes.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
I'm Kelsey Anderson. Coming up, we've got everything you need to know before the Pacers tip off tonight.
I'm Alyssa Donovan. If you're coming to the Pacers game tonight, you're probably going to walk right past this. It's the Pacers mural right outside of Bankers Life. It has the season schedule on it. Coming up, I'm going to have details on who paints this and the story behind it.
And it is 6:30. We've got on our blue. We've got on our gold. We are ready for the Pacers season opener tonight. But there is a lot to get to first on this Wednesday morning. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez. And of course, it's going to be a picture-perfect Wednesday. And Todd Clausen is delivering a slam dunk in the weather department.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Todd.
Boom, baby.
I told you today was going to be the best day of the week, and it still is going to be the best day of the week, as we're going to feature lots of sunshine here and temperatures eventually that'll be be climbing into the mid-60s. But this morning, once the sun comes up, you will need to have the sunglasses. In fact, you'll need those throughout the entire day. And you probably want the jacket this morning. I definitely needed one with temperatures that are in the 30s currently. So there is a chill in the air, but your outdoor workout is good to go not only this morning, but really throughout the entire day. However, as the day progresses, the one thing you will notice is the wind. It's really going to start to pick up. So wind speeds right now, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not that big of a deal this morning. However, by the time we get to this afternoon, we're probably talking about 20-mile-per-hour gusts, and by later on this evening, maybe 30-mile-per-hour gusts. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. Not enough to cause any damage, but more of an inconvenience here for you later on today. Skies are clear. Some high thin clouds may float in as the day goes on, but otherwise we are looking at a great start to the day. 39 degrees here still at 8 a.m., 46 degrees by the time we get to 10 a.m., so we warm quickly, and by the time we get to the noon hour, we're at 56 degrees. We'll talk more about your extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, we will see you then. The NBA season officially started last night, but for our Indiana Pacers, the season is starting tonight.
And they will play their first home game against the Detroit Pistons. RTV6's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning from Bankers Life Fieldhouse to fill us in on this great evening. Hey, Kelsey, how are you?
Hey, Raphael, good morning. You got it right that time. So we've been talking all morning about the festivities outside. We know that there's going to be a big party on Georgia Street for adults and just north on Pennsylvania Street for the kids and the whole family to enjoy. So that's a free event. But what we're doing right now, we're inside and we're talking to Pat Boylan, and you're the sideline reporter for the Pacers. So tell me a little bit about what, sports fans are excited about.
It's going to be fun to have everybody out here and on Georgia Street and in the Oberlot. But ultimately, this building and right in here in a little over 12 hours is where things are really going to rock. So from a Pacers perspective, this is the first game here since late April, so it'll be exciting just to get all that excitement, all that energy here back in Bankers Life Fieldhouse. We can't wait to have the fans out here. And from a Pacers perspective, it's a new look team, not a lot of new look exciting players that are going to be on the team this year as well. And while Victor Oladipo's not totally back, I think it's a good preview for what you might see this year.
Yeah, and he did practice last night, right? So that's exciting. And then the big news this week is Sabonis re-signing. So tell us a little bit about the Pacers' excitement, the stuff you've heard from fans who are excited about him being re-signed.
Well, I think he's a player that you get to know him and you get to watch him on the floor, and it only takes a couple of minutes to fall in love with Domantas Sabonis. So to know that he's back on a 4-year extension past this year's huge news for Pacers fans. And watching Oladipo out in practice, taking part in 5-on-5s, that's as exciting as anything. It's still going to be a little bit, we don't know the time frame, but it seems like he's moving along and progressing in the way you'd want him to.
And it's the start of the season, but overall, how are the Pacers feeling about this season?
Yeah, I think they're really excited. I feel like this is a very different team, but that they've gelled really quickly. And so because of that, I think they hope to hit the ground running. You're going to see some new players maybe that you weren't used to last year. One of them is Malcolm Brogdon, who they brought in from Milwaukee, but they were runner-up in the Eastern Conference last year. So a player that really could hope to bring this team hopefully to a new level this season.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I just was told that Boomer is up for the best mascot in the NBA, which is exciting. So you can go vote for that. Just go to the Pacers website for that. Pacers website for that. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kelsey, thank you. And if you're heading to the game tonight, you will probably walk right past this. It is the mural outside of Bankers Life. And this morning, our Alyssa Donovan is live with the story of how the mural came to be and the woman behind it. Quite the job she has, Alyssa.
That's right, Meredith. And of course, if you've been a Pacers fan for at least a couple decades, you're probably familiar with this. It's the mural outside of Bankers Life Stadium, and it is the Pacers season schedule. It's painted every year, but this thing is not machine-made. It's not made by a team of people. It's made by one very talented woman, and she's been doing it for 20 years.
I went to Boom Lift School. It's a certification, but yeah, you have to be checked out pretty good.
For 3 weeks every year, Barb Stahl spends her days up here.
Let's see. Chicago.
First, she stencils.
And just pounce that powder through the holes, and then we draw on top of the powder.
Then she pencils, and finally, she gets to paint.
All right, I guess we're starting.
The job, one she sort of just happened upon.
I was in a paint store and overheard someone in there mention a mural that was going to be done for the field house. So I literally walked around and started taking phone numbers off of some of the construction trucks. I finally got a hold of the company that was in charge of signage.
She entered her bid and won.
I really do feel like it was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
But the gig isn't easy. Every day is a race against the sun.
Our days are limited because of the heat index up here. It's a south-facing wall, you know, because if it's a 100-degree day, it's probably 120, 130 heat index bouncing off this wall.
But Stahl says it's all worth it.
I love it. It's like my favorite job.
Which has kept her coming back to paint this wall for 20 years. Even traveling back and forth to Indy when she briefly lived out of state.
Since we started this wall, it's really become like a landmark. And I think that's just the coolest thing ever, you know, that I get to be a part of that.
A part of something that, while changes from year to year, has become an icon to Pacers fans and Hoosiers who pass on by. And Stahl says another challenge with this job is because it is so high profile. If she makes any mistakes, she knows about it right away. And of course, she fixes it right away. Stahl also does the gallery ads inside of Bankers Life Fieldhouse. When I asked her how long she'll be doing those and this mural, she said she'll be doing it as long as she can. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much. The time now is 6:38. The guidance counselor let go by a local Catholic high school over her same-sex marriage is now taking the case to federal court. Shelley Fitzgerald filed a federal lawsuit against Roncalli High School and the Archdiocese of Indianapolis for what her legal team calls wrongful and unlawful discrimination against her. Roncalli placed Fitzgerald, as you may recall, on leave in August of 2018 when the Archdiocese learned she was married to a woman. The church claimed her same-sex marriage violated her school contract and the church's teachings that marriage, they say, is between a man and a woman. Roncalli did not renew Fitzgerald's contract in the end. Her lawyers say they did not take similar actions against other employees whose actions contradict school teachings. Now, we did reach out to the Archdiocese of Indianapolis, and in part, they sent us this statement which says, Catholic schools ask all teachers, administrators, and guidance counselors to uphold the Catholic faith by word and action, both inside and outside the classroom. If a school's leaders reject core aspects of the Catholic faith, it undermines the school's ability to accomplish its mission. Because of that, the Supreme Court has repeatedly recognized that religious schools have a constitutional right to hire leaders who support the school's religious mission.
More witnesses will take the stand just a couple of hours from now in day 3 of the disciplinary hearing for Attorney General Curtis Hill. On Tuesday, Republican leaders in the legislature testified that it took 3 days for Attorney General Curtis Hill to change his tone from apologetic to defiance over allegations that he touched a state lawmaker and 3 other women inappropriately at a bar. House Speaker Brian Bosma testified that when Hill found out the Indianapolis Star was going to write a story about the alleged behavior, Hill switched to, quote, full-on nothing happened mode. This was after Bosma said Hill was apologetic in a phone conversation 3 days earlier. The hearing will determine whether Hill would face legal discipline for his behavior and whether he used his office to intimidate his accusers. You can read the complete coverage of all the testimony so far on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com.
In a few hours, we will learn more about a new effort here in Indianapolis to fight crime. Mary Jo Hogshead and IMPD Police Chief Brian Roach will be joined by community leaders this morning to announce Business Link Indy. The program is being called B-Link for short. It will connect IMPD with security camera systems owned by businesses and homeowners across the city. Linking this camera network together will help IMPD investigate crime. The announcement is set for 11 o'clock this morning.
A new superintendent will lead a school district facing criticism over the handling of a sexual misconduct claim. The Northwest Hendricks School Board approved a temporary contract for Dr. Scott Syverson. The board will start the search for a permanent superintendent at the beginning of next year. Dr. Syverson takes over for Mike Springer, who resigned earlier this month. Springer did not give a reason for stepping down, but his decision came amid a criminal investigation into Tri-West football coach Tyler Bruce. Bruce is accused of sexual misconduct with a student, which Bruce denies. Springer wanted him fired, but the board rejected that recommendation.
Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, Vice President Pence continues to defend him, but some analysts believe the latest testimony against the president could be the most damaging of the impeachment investigation.
And this story is just amazing. Imagine going into labor, then tornado sirens going off. Next, the courage of a woman and those who helped bring a ray of sunshine into the world on quite a stormy day. Todd.
And it'll be a beautiful day here across central Indiana as you start to make those plans to go check out the foliage. We're getting closer to near peak here. That's probably not going to happen to early November. With that said, it'll be a beautiful day to do so with lots of sunshine. We'll talk about today's forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.
Toyota, let's go places.
At 6:44, we have some breaking news from overseas this morning from Britain, where police in southeastern England, they say that 39 people were found dead in a truck container believed to have come from Bulgaria. A 25-year-old man from Northern Ireland has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Officers say they're in the process of trying to identify the 38 adults and one teenager, and that this could take some time. Police say the truck entered England this past Saturday and that police are working with other agencies to investigate the situation. We'll have much more on this, of course, on Good Morning America. Democrats are now calling it the most damaging testimony yet in the impeachment investigation. Bill Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat in the Ukraine, he told House committees that President Trump intentionally withheld military aid to Ukraine until the country's leaders agreed to investigate his political opponents.
Taylor says the order came directly from the president. He also says Trump wanted Ukraine's president to publicly say that he was investigating Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden, as well as a discredited conspiracy theory that Ukraine tried to help Democrats in the 2016 election. Overnight, Vice President Mike Pence continued to defend the president.
The American people can read the transcript of the phone call the president had with President Zelensky, and they will see there was no quid pro quo.
Pence is referring to a rough outline of Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president, as an actual transcript has not yet been released.
Today, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will testify before a House committee. He'll be questioned about whether his company is doing enough to stop attempts to interfere in another election. He'll likely have to answer about a new policy in which Facebook allows political ads that make false claims. The hearing comes as 47 state attorneys general, including Indiana's Curtis Hill, have begun an investigation of Facebook for potential antitrust violations. That investigation is looking at whether Facebook may have put consumer information at risk. It's also looking at whether Facebook's tools for targeted advertising may be leading to discrimination.
You hear sometimes that good things come out of bad situations, and this, my friends, is one of them. While a tornado swirled outside, a brave first-time mother gave birth in a Texas laundry room. Mitch Matege's baby girl wasn't waiting any longer. She and her husband went to a birthing center in Rowlett Sunday night, and just when mom started pushing, the power went out and tornado sirens started going off. At that point, everyone went into a laundry room, 7 people cramming inside to help Mitch, and a short time later, her baby girl came into the world by candlelight. Both mom and baby girl are healthy, and they're lucky too. That tornado touched down just a mile and a half away from that birthing center. What a cool story that little girl is going to have to tell.
A moment that family won't forget, but could you imagine those other folks that were in that space? A story that they will always remember.
Yeah.
The story this morning for us in the weather department, it's going to be fantastic, of course. Go Pacers, go Todd Clawson on a great day.
You know, it is going to be a great day. We'll have sunshine, temperatures getting above normal. That puts us in the mid-60s. The one thing you will notice, and some of you may not like it, could be a flaw in the forecast, I guess you could say, is going to be the wind. It's slowly going to start to pick up as the day goes on, but it's a southerly wind, and that's what's going to help to bring our temperatures up into the mid-60s. So we're talking about wind speeds gusting up to about 30 miles per hour by the time we get to the evening hours. So more of a a nuisance than anything, but nonetheless, something definitely need to point out for you throughout the day today. 38 degrees. That's the current temperature this morning. It's chilly out there. It's like just a light wind right now at the southwest at 7 miles per hour, and everybody is in the 30s at this hour, with the exception of Connorsville, which is at 40 degrees, 38 in Bloomington, Crawfordsville, 35 degrees. Prue, you're at 37 currently. Muncie is at 43, so you're in the 40s as well. So our dog of the day, take a look at Danny. He is all ready for his chilly walk here this morning. He is all decked out. He's got his hat on. He's got his coat on, and he is ready to go. So, Andrea, you got him all prepared there. Thanks for sending Danny in. We'll give you the green pause here throughout the entire day. It's a sun-filled day, starting off at 39 degrees at 7 a.m. Your noontime temperature is up to 56, and then your high temperature today will get up to 64 degrees. Should be really pleasant out there later on this afternoon. So, skies are clear back off to our west. It is a little unsettled. We have some rain, we have some snow, we have the clouds. Obviously, if you're having the precipitation, we will not see any snow in our forecast anytime soon, but you will notice the clouds start to increase late this evening. But if you are heading to Bankers Life Fieldhouse for the home opener here, we will have partly cloudy skies at 6 p.m. Temperature of 62 degrees, so nice and pleasant. The sun will obviously set while you're in Bankers Life Fieldhouse. As you walk out after that game, temperatures should be in the 50s, but mainly quiet evening for us. Tomorrow morning, not quite as cold as the clouds start to increase. So tomorrow morning, we are in the 40s. And then over the course of the next few days, though, our temperatures are going to average a little bit below normal. Our average high is 63. So we're at or just a little bit above that today. But starting tomorrow and then going through the weekend, our temperatures are going to be averaging in the upper 50s to maybe the low 60s. So tomorrow, temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 50s because of more in the way of cloud cover. And then on Friday, there's the chance of a few stray showers, nothing major, but cooler at 55 degrees. The rain you see for the weekend, that is mainly Saturday after sunset into the overnight hours into early Sunday morning. Then the second half of Sunday should be fairly nice with a high of 64.
Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look at our camera at I-70 at Mount Comfort Road. You can see there are 2 trucks idling here on the side of the road. Now, it isn't causing any slowdowns, but it is something to be cautious of if you are coming on and off of those ramps in that area. There is also a lane still closed on eastbound I-70. So if that is part of your route, just be aware of that and give yourself a little bit of extra time.
So I have a question, Meredith, and I think I know the answer from you, but just listen to the question first. Do you buy a new dress simply because you have a wedding or a big party or an office dinner coming up? Well, there's no need to do that anymore.
Did my mother put you up to this?
She called me.
Well, consumer reporter John Mattery shows us all the things you can now rent instead of buying so you don't waste your money.
The shared economy is big business these days. Airbnb, Uber, Zipcars, and other companies have made sharing cool again. So why not share other things instead of buying them? Don't you hate buying an outfit for one dinner, then never wearing it again? A new report in lifehack.com says you can rent dresses from sites like Rent the Runway and Lending Luxury for as low as $45 a weekend. Power tools? Try Home Depot for a rental chainsaw, floor sander, pressure washer, and more. You can even rent a pickup truck to haul it in. Need a textbook for a semester? Try Chegg.com. And a real camera and lens for your special trip? Lens Rentals and Borrow Lenses can save you hundreds of dollars. But from the doesn't that sting file, one rental service that's generating some controversy, a company called Rent a Wife. It's really a Canadian-made service. If you were expecting a Saturday night date, you might say, doesn't that stink? Lifehack says you're not really renting a wife. Oh, and by the way, the name is pretty sexist. Bottom line, if it's something you use just once or twice a year, like a pressure washer, consider sharing instead of buying so you don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery. Good morning, Indiana.
John, thank you. And we have more money-saving tips from John right now. You can check them out anytime at theindychannel.com or on the RTV6 app.
So this restaurant is about to run out one of the items on its menu, but it's okay. They're supposed to. Coming up, what's going away and whether it might come back down the road. What restaurant? What item? Aha! We'll let you know next on Good Morning, Indiana. Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board. It was supposed to be a pitcher's duel, but the aces for both the Houston Astros and Washington Nationals struggled in Game 1 of the World Series last night. Especially surprising was how the Nationals' bats got to the former Indianapolis Indian star Garrett Cole. Washington scored 5 runs off Cole, led by a home run and double from Juan Soto. Soto becoming just the 4th player under the age of 21 to hit a homer in a World Series. The Nationals held on to pick up a big win in Houston, 5-4. Game 2 of the World Series is tonight in Houston.
The Nationals weren't the only big winners Tuesday night. All of America won a free taco. That's because Taco Bell's Steal a Taco promotion. National shortstop Trey Turner stole second base during the first inning last night. This is the 5th year in a row everyone won a free taco from this deal. You can pick up your free taco at any Taco Bell next Wednesday, October 30th from 2 until 6 p.m. Oh, it looks like I know what I'm having for my birthday dinner next week.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
All right. It is a dish that has helped Chipotle come back from troubles caused by foodborne illnesses, but now the restaurant says it's about to run out.
So Chipotle is expecting to run out of its popular new meat dish, carne asada, late next month or in early December. But that's only because Chipotle only planned to offer it for a limited time in an effort to boost business. If that's the case, carne asada accomplished its mission. Chipotle sales jumped by 11% in the 3rd quarter of this year. The restaurant says it doesn't know whether it will bring the dish back in the future since steak is expensive to serve. And I love saying every morning, carne asada. Anyway, let's get back to English. Todd Clauston, you have an amazing forecast. I will buy you lunch today because,
all
hey.
right. Do I get to pick the location?
You do. You are serving it up good today.
Right.
Give us what's on the menu.
St. Elmo.
Somewhere. All right, outside it is chilly this morning, but we'll warm quickly with lots of sunshine. Up to 56 by the noon hour, 64 with mostly sunny skies this afternoon. It does turn a little breezy again with gusts up to about 30 miles per hour, but the clouds increase tomorrow, 61, then chance of showers and cooler on Friday with a high of 55.
All right, Todd, thank you. We are back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with more news, weather, and traffic.
Have a great Wednesday and enjoy a good dish of carne asada. Go Pacers! Boom, baby.